It was another action-packed thriller-minute weekend in the Premier League, so Team of the Week must have been tough, Stevie.
I tell you what, it was desperate.
Here is the ultimate Team of the Week. Remember, Stevie, Gab and Marcotti, not Marcotti, that's Gab, and Mariner all submit their 11s. This time use the ultimate 11, Stevie.
I didn't have Glenn Murray in. That shows you how struggling we were for strikers this weekend. I didn't have Murray in. I didn't have Ramsey in either, and I did not have Shawcross in. Oh. They didn't play well. I actually went for a 4-2-3-1.
Oh, creative.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. I had
thinking.
I had Wes Morgan in place of Shawcross in the back line.
Wow.
I had two sitting in the front, which was Fletcher from Stoke. What a fantastic goal.
Struck it well.
And he's Scottish as well, by the way.
Ah, there you go.
With Fernandinho, and I had three across the middle. Sane on the left.
Yes.
Zaha on the right.
Yes.
Hazard in the middle, and right up top, Anthony Martial, who scored the biggest goal and the most important goal of the weekend.
Okay. Gab, what do you make of all this? Did you have Martial, for example?
I did not have Martial because, as you know, I follow the cardinal rule where if you come off the bench, you don't get into Team of the Week.
Hey, hold on a second.
Team of the Week
hold on a second, Gab.
You know.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you there. The cardinal rule. We make our own rules up. They don't give us rules when they ask us to do this. So you're going on your own rules.
I have a 180-page handbook right here, Steve, that I was given. No, but beyond that, actually, Stevie and I thinking along similar lines with a 4-2-3-1. I also didn't have Aaron Ramsey in there. I did go for Shawcross because I was happy to see him back after his layoff, and I think Stoke missed him. Having Ramsey in there as well as Kolasinac would have meant way too many Arsenal players, probably by a factor of about 50%. And I opted for Glenn Murray again. And in some ways, it's a little bit of a protest vote, but in a week where no other center forward really shone, I love the fact that a guy like Glenn Murray is popping up with big goals. He had 2 goals last week, 1 goal this week. You watch him play, you see him, he's just kind of like every man. He's the guy on the street. He's the guy down the pub. He's the guy at like the collecting tolls on the highway. And yet he plays in the Premier League and he scores. And I love that.
He's popping up with big goals. Big goals. It was an absolute barnstormer against Southampton. And Martial scores against Spurs in the biggest game of the weekend. He scores in big games.
Yeah, but Murray started. Look, why can't you show some love? You're all about the big club, Steve. Why don't you show some love for the little guy? Glenn Murray is the epitome of the little guy. He's not fast. He's not skillful. He's not strong. He's just an average guy who, for whatever reason, has this gift for scoring goals at the championship level. Sometimes he can do it in the Premier League as well. The last 2 weeks he's done in the Premier League. Let's go and let's celebrate that. He's a little bit different than Anthony Martial.
I looked after Wes Morgan, didn't I? He's not your fancy Dan, play the ball out from the back.
He's a Premier League winner, isn't he?
Oh, here we go.
He's won the Premier League.
Right, that's good. I've had enough of this.
He's an international.
No more Glenn Murray or Wes Morgan talk. That is it. Good work, Ali.
Well, solid.
Just a reminder, you can download our daily podcast. It is actually rather good. You should do it. It's over on ESPN.com.
Okay, good.
Real Madrid coming into this game off the back of 13 straight away league wins. Zinedine Zidane didn't miss around. He played a strong team. It wasn't as if this was the second team resting players ahead of Spurs. It was a proper team and a proper defeat.
Yeah, so whatever built-in excuse that you might have had coming into this match, maybe we have injuries, maybe we have issues, maybe it's not our strongest team. Well, it was. Yeah, I mean, you had a version of Real Madrid out there that was very competitive, not only in La Liga, but certainly across Europe as well. And so you think, okay, you go up 1-0, this game is under control. You're playing Girona. I mean, you're playing Girona. Okay, let's not kid ourselves. It's Girona, for goodness sakes. Okay, so it's not the sort of match that Real Madrid should be giving away, but it does show that, again, this is a team that right now is very inconsistent. As a group, inconsistent, individually inconsistent. Ronaldo sort of shows up for moments in the game and then disappears for long stretches of the match. You have Isco out there, who's really the one player that you can count on to always push and try to create opportunities. Benzema, you don't really know what you're going to get from him. And then you make substitutions, and those substitutions didn't really work out. Yeah. There wasn't enough control out of the midfield. That tends to be a strength of Real Madrid, but they didn't really handle the match. They didn't really control the match. Girona did attack Real Madrid and created opportunities. I just see a Real Madrid team now that is sort of looking at each other and hoping that things are going to happen, rather than allowing their talent to take over and really showcase their full potential.
This is it, isn't it, Gabby? Take a look at last year. Maybe in these sort of circumstances, Sergio Ramos would score a late goal. We'd see something special from Cristiano Ronaldo. Yet this season, you haven't got your big guns firing on all cylinders, and you have results like this.
Yeah, you know, I hate to blame the mental side of things, but this to me felt like a game where it was almost one of those games where like you kind of forget what the score is, because there were moments early in that second half where you thought that they were 3-0 up and just kind of seeing out the game. There was so little urgency. They were so nonchalant. And I think they really paid a price for it. I don't know if they didn't prepare for this game at all or they didn't execute. But I don't know. I think to me it's something more than just inconsistency. I think this is something where Zidane needs to go and sit down. If there is something encouraging about Real Madrid, is that they really took it on the chin. They didn't go on and talk about how the second goal was offside or anything like that. They simply went in there and they said, yeah, we screwed this one up big time. We need to do better.
This always fascinates me, Stephen. I know we've had this conversation before about your days at Liverpool. Defending a title is a very different kettle of fish, isn't it?
Yeah, you almost have to forget what happened the previous year. You almost have to think, right, we're starting at the bottom, and every time we step on the field, we have to be at our very best. And clearly this season, that's not the mentality that they're showing. And the fact that after the game, they are completely not looking for any sort of excuse, maybe is a good thing. Maybe they're realising that all the pats in the back and all the praise that we gave them last year because they were superb, it's not happening this year, and they have to get out of this funk.
There is an 8-point difference between Real Madrid and Barcelona. You can see it here. Valencia sandwiched in the middle of the big two. The front page of Sports, of course, a Catalan newspaper, loving this, of course. Gracias, Girona. Thank you very much, Girona. 8 points, emphasised in big yellow numbers.
Yeah, you look at Barcelona, and they didn't play well. Barcelona against Athletic Bilbao. And in fact, man of the match was Ter Stegen. He came up with save after save after save. Early on in the match, late in the match. And the difference between Real Madrid's performance and Barcelona's performance was you have Ter Stegen making the saves, whereas those saves are not being made at Real Madrid. And then the other thing, your key player, your main man, Lionel Messi, when he gets the ball, impacts the game, whereas Ronaldo with Real Madrid right now not impacting the game quite as much. And it is clear to see how Athletic Bilbao was in this game. They were carrying the pace of the match in the second half. Barcelona were hanging on, and they did just enough. The saves by Ter Stegen kept them in the match, kept them in the lead, and then Lionel Messi took over. 2-0, see you guys later, 3 points, and everything is sort of swept under the rug.
Is La Liga done?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Done and dusted. Give them the trophy now.
Barcelona's only lost in 2 of the last 3 seasons, 4 games in a season. And they've got an 8-point start on Real Madrid.
But it's not only what Barcelona are doing, it's what Real Madrid are not doing. See, Real Madrid has to be perfect from here on out.
Right.
And Barcelona is going to have to drop off. And in order for that to happen, then you have to have injuries, you have to have some catastrophic happening. But Real Madrid also have to be at that level of perfection, which they haven't shown that they can be. They haven't been consistent enough, and we're not getting the best out of Real Madrid just yet. When is that going to happen? We don't know that.
Gab, this has never happened before. The teams having played the same amount of matches, level on games, and an 8-point difference then closed by Real Madrid. It's not going to happen this time either, is it?
Hasn't happened for Real Madrid. It has happened before, I think, I remember Rafa Benitez's Valencia most recently making up an 8-point gap, maybe even a bigger gap, actually. But, look, it's obviously uphill. The reason I'm not going to write Real Madrid off, though, is that it's still early in the season. Barcelona aren't playing particularly well. And you still have the two Clásicos to come. And whereas right now, maybe, we can't imagine Real Madrid performing better. The reality is we know that they can't perform better. We also know that Barcelona aren't exactly playing great right now. So, it's a big ask, but it wouldn't be out of this world for Real Madrid to win the two Clásicos. And then at that point, you're talking 2 points. And both these teams are capable of stumbling. I mean, they have stumbled this season in terms of performance, at least. And so, no, I'm not going to go and crown Barcelona just yet. Plus, Valencia's in the mix as well. They're only 4 points back, and they have Simone Zaza. 9 goals already this season.
I don't know what Gab is talking about in terms of stumbling with Barcelona. 28 goals for, 3 goals against. They've only dropped 1 result, and was a point that they got away at Atletico Madrid. In La Liga, Barcelona has been dominant.
Yeah, they've been a machine.
Yeah.
One thing is for sure.
If Real Madrid...
Performances don't get you points. Results, Gab.
If Real Madrid are going to close this gap, Cristiano Ronaldo needs to pull his finger out. He has had a horrible start to the season. Just 1 goal in 6 league games. He's had 40 shots. Wow. That's so many.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a lot. Right, Ronaldo, the best.
Yeah. And so he's in a week where he's paraded as the best, and rightfully so, because he did deserve it from last season. But, man, this is not the way to close out the week. And his performance, you talk about performance gap, his performance did not deserve much more than what they got. It's very sort of on and off during the match. And quiet once again, Cristiano Ronaldo, which is it's not that something that you want to see if you're a Real Madrid fan.
Ronaldo, Gab.
No argument there. He's obviously having a difficult time. I don't know if it was the suspension earlier this year somehow throwing him off his rhythm. But there's no question he has to go to the next level and the level after that. He's been there before, and we know he can get back there.
Stevie, I feel like this time last year you may have said that he was done.
I never said he was done at all. I just said he had lost a yard. And actually, for the first half of the season, he wasn't very good.
No, he wasn't.
But he was fantastic for the second half of the season. Listen, it's good old father time, and a little bit of the mental strength might be dropping as well, because the worst thing for a footballer is when you can't do what you used to be able to do. The first hurdle is getting over it mentally and accepting it. So he's got both of those things against him right now.
Can he come back, or is he done again?
Well, I would suggest that he has such a good supporting cast around him that maybe he can come back for a spell. But, the consistency that he's shown over the last decade isn't going to be there from now. Dyer's not a centre-back, and he doesn't like playing there. He wants to play in the middle of the park. And that goal is just a classic example of a guy who's not sure when he plays in that position. He doesn't read the header. He doesn't even know Martial's there. And in what for them is the biggest game of the season so far, why do you play him in the first place?
So it's all at Dyer's door, in your opinion?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no question. Defensively, he absolutely gets hung out to dry. The goal is his fault. That's his job. His job is to read the header, know what's going on around him, and then deal with it. And he didn't do it.
Gab?
Well, interesting you should say that, Stevie, because Mourinho said that Spurs central defenders are the 3 best, or among the 3 best in the world.
Oh, he tells the truth all the time, doesn't
he? So here's the thing, Ali.
No,
why would you play Llorente? Why not play Llorente for this sort of match? Is this not ideal?
And by the way, the way the game was played out, in particular in the first half, where it was more about physicality and pushing and shoving and tackling 50-50 balls, it would seem to be made specifically for a big body like Fernando Llorente, who can hold the ball up, can be a target player, you can play into him, and then have Dele Alli run off of him. Seems ideal, seems perfect, but almost too perfect for Mauricio Pochettino. Didn't quite understand why he wouldn't have been the first option if Kane was not available.
That's why they bought him, surely.
Yeah?
Surely they bought him to either give Kane a rest or if Kane got injured. And you can't play Son up front. Son's much better playing off somebody and running in late. He's not the guy that's...
So Pochettino's got to take the blame for this?
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of problems with that, the way he set that team out. Not only Llorente. You play Sissoko. Why is he playing Sissoko? I mean, why is he changed? He's changed so many things. You look how they played against Liverpool. Absolutely battered them. And then he goes and makes 3 or 4 changes. Not only personnel, but Aurier went from the right against Liverpool. Now he's on the left. He made so many changes. I just don't understand it.
We're talking about Spurs giving them the points. Do we give United some credit, though, considering their tough run coming into this game?
We give them credit for the second half, where there was a better version of United. Not a great version of United, but a better version of United. More energy to the team, more willing to take risks going forward. And you could sense it from the crowd at Old Trafford that they could feel this team pushing for the 3 points. And we haven't heard that much over the last few games at Old Trafford, because the team hasn't given that sort of impetus to the crowd and say, you know what, we're going to get forward. We're going to go after the 3 points. We're going to attack because we're a talented team. It wasn't the best performance of Manchester United. It was good defensively, disciplined as you might have expected him to be. But then in the second half, at least there was enough commitment going forward that they got a goal out of it.
Stevie?
There was commitment and there was desire.
Yeah.
But there was no stylish attacking football.
No.
I mean, the goal they scored kind of summed the game up. A long ball, a flick on, and a scuff shot. That for me, summed this game up.
And you sense like a player like Henrik Mkhitaryan struggles because he doesn't know where he fits into this picture. Because he's not the guy that is going to be all disciplined and behind the ball and, you know what, and we're just going to defend and keep it tight here. Then when he gets the ball, it's like, oh my goodness, now I got space, now I got to get forward, now I got to be creative. He doesn't quite fit the plans of whatever Mourinho's doing, and it shows in the way that he's playing.
Gab?
I'm going to stick up for Mourinho a little bit here. I mean, I think we need to kind of look at context. We look at it in light of what happened last week. We look at it the fact that earlier this season, you know, he tried to play his skill players, Mkhitaryan, Mata, and Pogba, together. I thought it worked reasonably well. Then Pogba gets hurt. Then in a game like this, I think he just kind of plays the percentages. And he says, you know, we can park the bus, we can try to be tough and physical, and we know that we can, if we do that, maybe we create more chances and we have a chance of winning. We go at them, we try to be pretty without the guys, but without my skill players who I have out there, and they could possibly rip us to shreds. And I'm not going to do that right now because, you know, we can't afford another defeat. So he goes, and it's Ashley Young, and it's Smalling, and it's the back three, and I'm going to mirror their formation and nick something at the other end. And he went for it, and he was vindicated. I don't have a problem with him doing that right now when he's missing key players and in these circumstances.
Currently 8th in the table, especially when you take a look at their record against the big sides. They've lost against all of them. Apart from Napoli, they play them on November 18th. Gab, we've talked so much about Milan's need to finish in the Champions League places this season. Taking a look at their record against their Champions League rivals, is there an argument to say actually their best route into the Champions League next season is going to be winning the Europa League?
You know what? That could very well be the case. It's not. I mean, they're 10 points out right now. If Inter win tomorrow, then they're going to be 12 points away from a top four finish. They pretty much predicated everything on finishing top four. Remember, they have that enormous loan that I keep bringing up. It is really important that comes due in October. They need to come up with 300 million plus. I think certainly within a week, maybe 10 days. They're going to hear from UEFA about their voluntary agreement, since they're almost certainly going to, well, they'll definitely fail financial fair play. If they don't get that either, things are going to get really ugly very, very quickly. So you're right. At this stage, you look at it and, you know, you don't want to blame Montella too much, but you have to say, listen, at some point, we need to go and do something. And Europa League may actually end up being the best for them to get to the Champions League, simply because the top teams in Italy, none of them are dropping points. And it's going to be a really, really high threshold, I think, this season to finish top four.
Time for a bit of extra time, ladies and gentlemen. Stevie, I feel this first one is for you.
Okay.
Sterling has improved no end, but doesn't get the credit. He was 100% right to leave Liverpool.
Has he improved? Yes, he has. But you know, he was still very young when he left Liverpool. I can't remember what age was he when he left Liverpool.
I don't know. You're the Liverpool fan.
The problem I had with Sterling when he left Liverpool was not the fact he was leaving Liverpool, because any professional footballer wants to go to where they think they're going to win things and where the money is and everything else, and that was Manchester City. That wasn't the problem I had with Sterling. The problem was how he went about it. That was the problem I had. As far as what's been happening on the field, yes, he has improved, and going to Manchester City was the right thing for him to do as far as his game's concerned.
Okay then. What can be done about excessive time wasting in La Liga, Annie?
Are we talking about a specific circumstance here, situation, or it's just in general?
It seems to be a general.
Oh.
I can't say I've noticed it, but
Obviously, it's a big issue to whoever has written this question in, but it's part of the game. It happens, and it's not specific to La Liga, by the way.
If only there was some way to resolve this issue.
Oh no!
Maybe
Oh no!
The clock.
No!
You know what? I have my solution. It's supported by plenty of people. One day we're going to get our way, but you know, for now, if I bring it up, I'll just get loads of abuse.
Oh, yes.
Poor Gab. Oh, poor Gab.
Stevie.
aye.
Our day will come.
Who was your favourite post-80s Liverpool striker? Some options mentioned. Owen, Fowler, Torres, Suarez, or somebody else?
Good question there.
Well, I like these questions. Because Steve makes that noise.
You know what? They were all fantastic at their best.
But with Liverpool.
Does Owen kind of...
No, yeah. Owen kind of slips to the side.
Why does he slip to the side? Why does he not
I
slip to
don't
the
even know
top?
why you're asking. You know exactly why he slips to the side.
Why? What do you mean? He scored key goal. He won the FA Cup for you.
Well, big wow, FA Cup.
Oh, okay.
The romance.
Okay.
The romance of the FA Cup.
Well, sorry, who else won what for you then in that list?
Do you know what? It's very hard to separate.
Why has Owen gone off on the
You know
side?
what? I'm going to put Torres off to the side as well.
Ooh.
So it's between Fowler and Suarez. See, I'm thinking aloud here. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out an answer
I want
to
to
the
go back.
question.
Why is Owen gone off on the side? Because there's helicopter
Do you want an answer
commercials.
to the question or not?
I want to answer
Do you
my
want
question now.
You've asked me a question, so it's now down to Fowler and Suarez.
Wow.
Now, if it's down to the best finisher,
It's your favourite.
it's Fowler.
Right, that's your favourite?
I'm going to go. How long we got?
That's fine.
Fowler or Suarez? That's it's that close, and it's very hard to separate.
Can I ask a supplementary question?
Not if he's going to be the one I think it is.
Why is Owen off to the side? You watch him come through the ranks.
Listen, he's the first one separated because he's not as good as the other three. How's that?
Wow. Really?
Yes.
In their time in Liverpool, or just in general.
Just in general.
Seriously, Stevie, I wouldn't expect that from you.
Why is that?
I loved Owen growing up.
So did I. I played against him.
Oh.
He made me look like a right monkey, you know. I nearly retired after playing against him.
Did you?
Aye. And then about 2 months later, he actually played in the World Cup for England and scored some fantastic goals. I thought, maybe it's
not me. It's not me.
just unlucky to meet the wee guy in the...
Wow.
I'm not the problem.
Like 98, his goal in 98.
Yeah.
Wow, Steve.
Yep.
I'm surprised.
Yep. I'd have one of the other three before him.
Goodness me. And final question. I have a question. Why is ESPN FC so biased towards second place Manchester United? Oh, towards Manchester United. Does that mean that we like them?
Ooh. No.
Oh, it is. It does. Yes, because it's from a Manchester City fan.
No, because...
What? Hold on a second. Don't we get all sorts of hate from Manchester United fans?
We're biased towards.
I know, but don't we get a lot of hate from Manchester United fans that we say we're against them?
Yes.
And now we got people saying that we're for them?
Yeah.
People, sort yourselves out. Huh?
Well, at the end of the day, listen, we gave him pelters last year, right? Because he finished up 6th, right?
Yes.
And this year, we're giving them a few slaps on the back because they're winning games, right?
Yes.
But we're criticising them for the way they're playing. So how are we?
I'm surprised
How
you
are we
could-
biased towards them?
I still can't believe your Michael Owen answer.
Yeah.
Wow.
He put him to the side.
I know.
Quickly.
But
Quickly
just
to the
so
side.
Quickly.
Yes.
Extraordinary stuff. That is it. ESPN FC is back. Are you with us
side.
tomorrow? Are you off tomorrow?
Aye.
Just throw more dart to that Michael Owen pick. ESPN FC with you at 5:30 Eastern on
the side.
ESPN News.